This is Petro Kings.
Welcome into episode 27 of the Top of the Morning Show. I'm your host, Juangottibusiness. I appreciate y'all for coming through this morning. How are we feeling? A little tardy today, man. We were supposed to start it off at 9 a.m., but I ain't gonna lie. I was a little slow getting up this morning, man. Sometimes your body says no when your mind says yes. But I'm here. I'm locked and loaded. You are now tuned into episode number 27 of the Top of the Morning podcast. We got a lot to talk about today. We got the Washington Commanders news. Okay, Washington Commanders wrapped up OTAs. Eric Bieniemy, Jack Del Rio all spoke, so we got to cover that. Gervontae Davis is now in jail serving some time. And we also got to talk about a podcast morning show update in a sense. I just got to talk to y'all. And that's how we can kick off the show. And we can also talk about the NBA finals. So if you guys please can tune in and, chat, that would be greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's get the opening statement. So we got to have a talk, okay? So, Top of the Morning Show, the podcast, the morning show that I created, some months ago, right? As we know, it kind of took a pause, and not because I didn't want to do it. It was because I had a vision for it that I wasn't fulfilling, right? So my whole idea and vision for this show was to have like a real morning sports show. Like, some like old Sports Center or some like news channel kind of deal. And it really wasn't coming out like that. I didn't know how to pursue that. So I kind of took a pause to learn, and then when I came back, it still was the same thing. Because I was like, you know what? I'm not learning how to do it, but I don't want to continue to hold off the show because I'm only stopping myself and the people that was tuned into it. So I came back and I'm here now. And honestly, guys, I want to make this show where we talk about all sports, right? I want to talk about, obviously, my Washington Commanders, but I want to talk about the whole NFL, potentially other sports. But it seems like only time I get people to tune into this show is if Washington Commanders is in the title. And maybe I just got to go with having it, not really worrying about who's listening and just do whatever I want on the show and if gravitate towards it. But I'm not gonna lie, I would like, some type of support in it. So I just wanted to put that out there. Like, yeah, of course, I'm gonna talk about my Washington Commanders but anytime I get the chance. But I wanted this to be like a sports podcast, mainly NFL podcast, because I do. For years now, I have been wanting to branch out to covering the whole NFL, but obviously, I know what my channel is. I know my channel is mainly a Washington Commanders channel. So, try to get people that are Commanders fans and may not be fans of the NFL or other teams. It's going to be kind of hard to get them to try to support that. But I guess at the end of the day, I just got to start doing what I want to do. I try to listen to, some of you all. Some of you all give me feedback. Some of you all don't give me feedback, So I try to cater to what would be best for you all, which is always a good thing. But it kind of also hinders me from doing some things that I want to do. So maybe I just try to, and that's because honestly, I'm focused too much on like the viewership and who's going to watch and who's not going to watch, Maybe I just got to start posting and doing live shows of just what I kind of something a little bit different. Still football, still sports related, but different titles that may not include the Washington Commanders that day. You know what I'm saying? That's really what my vision was for this channel. And last year I did dabble a little bit into some NFL recaps where we recap every single game from the night prior, but I kind of stayed off on that. So really, I got to get consistent, and I'm locked in. But I just want to know that if I got you guys support, man. So just let me know, man. Don't be afraid to hit me up, in the comment section. Email me at juangottibusiness@gmail.com. Like just let me know some things, because how are you guys feeling about that? Because I love my team and I love covering my team, and that will never stop. But I do like showing my versatility, because I can cover the whole NFL and other sports too. So again, just let me know. That's just what a little bit I want to talk about opening the show. I want to get that off my chest, man. So as you guys know, it's June 2nd. And it's almost summertime. So that's why I want to turn this thing up, man. I want to make this my full-time thing. And I just want to do so much. And I know it's probably going to take some time, but I just wanted to put that out there and just let you guys, chew on that and give me some feedback on that. Now, with that out the way, let's go ahead and finally get into some sports talk. So let's go ahead and talk about this Gervontae Davis thing that happened. So, if you didn't know, Gervontae Davis, he was supposed to be on house arrest for 90 days, for a 2020 hit and run situation that took place. And he was supposed to be on house arrest, right? And he was supposed to just, I guess, live with his trainer for the 90 days. And he violated it. He violated it because he moved away from his trainer. The full article is here right here. It says Gervontae Davis is reportedly headed to jail less than a month after appearing to avoid jail following a guilty plea in a hit and run case. Baltimore Sheriff's deputies took the lightweight boxing star into custody following a court hearing on Thursday, in which Judge Arthur Hanley ordered Davis to spend the remainder of his 3 months house arrest sentence in jail, according to Baltimore Banner. The exact reason behind the hearing remains unclear, but Davis' attorney described it as an impromptu to the Banner. There is currently nothing official about the hearing on online court records. Davis was serving his house arrest in the Baltimore home of his coach Calvin Ford, and Handy had previously rejected the idea of him serving the sentence at his home in Florida. Gervontae Davis pleaded guilty to 4 misdemeanors. Davis received his 90-day house arrest sentence back on May 5th, along with the 200 hours of community service, 3 years of probation, and mandated sessions with Mother Against Drunk Driving. 2 months earlier, he had pled guilty to 4 misdemeanor charges stemming from 2020 hit and run incident that injured 4 people in Baltimore. Davis was sentenced less than a month ago after the biggest win of his career and 7th-round KO of Ryan Garcia that vaulted him into the upper echelons of pound-for-pound rankings. He remains one of the most exciting risers in the boxing world, but is a lengthy of legal issues that stands out even in the world of boxing has been concerned over the last few years. So that's the little short article on that. Here's my take on it. I just don't know what it is with these athletes, okay? Like, these athletes, they get money, they have everything in the world, and then they just do stuff like this, Like, they just I don't know. Like, if I'm ever in that position, and again, I've never had money like these athletes has before, but like, if I'm ever in that position, I'm staying out the way, I'm living my life, having fun. most importantly, obtaining the law. Because this how I look at it, man. As a black African American athlete, you have a target on your back. I wonder if y'all feel the same way. If you want to speak on that, let me know. But as a black African American athlete, I feel like you have a target on your back more so than any other race or any other athlete of any other ethnicity. I feel like African American people have a target on their back. Whether you're LeBron James, what did the president tell him to shut up and dribble, or if you're Brittany Griner, even though she may have may have committed a crime, they tried to make an example out of her. Wonder how it would have been if she was another race, right? Whether you're Colin Kaepernick, or we've seen countless, incidents, Muhammad Ali, and back, even this goes ages ago, right? They try to make an example out of you because of your color. And as a black person, I feel like you would know that. I feel like you would know that. Like, I gotta move cautious. Like Gervontae Davis, I'm not saying he was right for what he did, because obviously he committed a crime. But again, this goes back to him. You gotta know better. You gotta know better, because if you are, let's just say Gervontae Davis was, I don't know, white or whatever. I really don't like using the race thing, but let's say Gervontae Davis was a Caucasian. Would they do the same kind of thing with the Caucasian person? I don't know, but you don't even want to ever put yourself in that predicament. That's what I'm trying to get at. To stay clear of the law, because you know how this society is. You're a young, rich, successful African American male. So of course they're gonna be quick to make an example out of you. So you gotta just know how to be better. I mean, if you had to stay at your trainer's house for 90 days, why not? Like, what's up? Why not just do that? You're not fighting, right? You still could train, I'm pretty sure, somewhere in the house, or near the house, in the backyard or something. Like, you could have did something, right? But I guess he tried to go to Florida or whatever, and he wasn't supposed to, obviously, and then that's where now he has to spend the rest of his 90 days in jail. I mean, it's a very, very minor situation in a sense. Like, you don't want him in jail, Starbucks in jail, but at least it's like not nothing long term. Just go ahead and finish out your 90 days. I mean, you couldn't have did it in house arrest, so just do it in jail. Now it's nowhere to go. Now they have nothing to say. Once you complete your 90 days, you're done. I mean, you still got to do 200 hours of community service, and you're going to be 3 years of probation. But what's that? Now you can't tell me where I can't go and where I cannot go. Once I finish these 90 days, so he's not behind bars, and this is going to give him some time to think. It's going to give him some time to think and really reflect on his decision making and what he knows, what to do, what to do and what not to do, right? So that's really all I have to say on that situation. What says you out there? Gervontae Davis, star boxer, is now serving the rest of his 90 days house arrest behind bars. So practically all of summer, 3 months, he'll be behind bars because he disrupted his house arrest that he got less than a month ago. May 5th, he was sentenced to house arrest for 90 days, and a month later, barely, he interrupted that. So let me let you guys think about that. Let's go ahead and transition into some NFL Washington Commanders talk. So the Washington Commanders, okay, they just finished OTAs, And next up is vet minicamp for them. Eric Bieniemy, he stepped to the podium yesterday. As you guys know, anytime Eric Bieniemy speaks, we listen, and it's always a good listen. Eric Bieniemy has said a lot about the offense, the team, a lot. And he mentioned a lot of positive things about Sam Howe that really gets you excited about what he could potentially bring to this team. Sam Howe has the opportunity that Washington has been trying to seek for the past since they lost Kirk Cousins, honestly. And we seem like we're here with that, to be honest with you. I don't want to jump the gun, okay, and just crown him this franchise guy, but we haven't had anybody like this since Kirk Cousins to even give us a sniff of hope. Like, my guy Dwayne Haskins didn't even give us this kind of hope, you know. Dwayne Haskins, may God rest his soul, but we wanted him to work out badly, right? But he didn't. He didn't, and he didn't even give us this kind of hope. Taylor Heineke, I mean, I know there was a section of the fan base. Shoot, there was a time where I even thought, okay, he was going to be the guy. Right? So Sam Howell has an opportunity to make this team and be that guy. Be that guy for us. And Eric Bieniemy says he loves the way he talks. He loves the way he is as a person. He loves the way of how he's an autocorrect guy. So anytime he makes a mistake, he automatically knows what he did wrong and fixes it himself. I don't even have to say nothing. He's quick to come over and say, hey, man, what did you see here? What I got to do better? Like, I love that. A guy that is autocorrects, but also willing to hear how to get better. He always wants to get better. And you hear players talk about it. Not even just Eric Bieniemy. You hear players talk about it throughout the building. Hey, man, Sam Howell, he has this quiet confidence about him. Like, he's not a guy that's going to talk a lot, right? But he has this swagger, this confidence that you just cannot not acknowledge, in a sense, you know. And again, I love that for him, man. I love that we have a quarterback that could potentially be that. Now, again, I don't want to crown him just that guy just yet because he hasn't proved it on the field. But to see how he has a command of this offense already, from a sense of it's only OTAs, gets you excited. I mean, yeah, they want to make this thing to try to be an open competition between him and Jacoby Brissett just because they don't want to crown him the starter. But look what they're doing, right? They're giving all the starter reps to Sam Howell. Eric Bieniemy had to stop himself from saying regular season to training camp because he didn't want to give it away. We already know who's a starting quarterback. You don't got to fool us. They're micing him up in practice so they can hear the calls, and, you know, it's just a lot of difference going on, man. You know, a lot of different vibes that you love to see, right? That, for sure, that mic'd up thing, I know that was an Eric Bieniemy thing. Because when have we ever did that? When have we ever did that? We've never done anything like that, where you mic the quarterback up in practice, and we've never done that. So that's how I know it's an Eric Bieniemy, man. And Eric Bieniemy even alluded to the point that he's like, hey, let me shout out Ron Rivera, man. because I appreciate him even giving me the opportunity and the power of having the control that I do. Like, you hear Ron Rivera talking about Eric Bieniemy, and he's saying he has all this power and control. Obviously, we know Ron Rivera is still the head coach, but it's like, I have to always remind myself, Eric Bieniemy was not a head coaching hire. He was just an offensive coordinator hire, but the way it just feels, it just feels like an offensive coordinator hiring, man. You know, so I'm excited. He said a whole bunch of good things about Terry McLaurin. He's a professional. You know, Jahan Dawson. He talked about how good the tight ends have been under Juan Castillo. And you guys know that's a big thing for me because the tight ends was pretty much trash under Scott Turner last year. So to hear that they could potentially be way better under new tutelage and coaching, I love to hear it. Because, you know, Logan Thomas was a guy that was pissed last year. He was pissed at Scott Turner, but he didn't want to say it, right? He didn't want to say it, but you can hear, you know, his wife came out and said something, right? He said like he felt like he wasn't utilized enough last season, and obviously Logan Thomas dealt with a lot of injuries, but even when he was healthy, he wasn't featured. And we know Eric Bieniemy's offense is a tight end friendly offense. So with that being said, guys like Logan Thomas, Cole Turner, Curtis Hodges, John Bates, they should have better years. And you guys know how I feel about Cole Turner. I think he needs to have a breakout year. Especially, you know, I already even had, you know, expectation on Cole Turner before the injury to Amani Rodgers. But now that we have Cole Turner and Logan Thomas as the main guys now, and obviously Curtis Hodges, but I'm expecting a bigger year. Okay? So I'm excited about the offensive side of the ball. I really am. I cannot wait to preseason. Like, I can't wait for training camp. I'm going to try to get out there this summer. But even more so than that, I cannot wait till preseason, man. And I know it's going to be vanilla. They ain't going to show you too much. But, hey, I can't wait. Jack Del Rio, he stepped to the podium too yesterday, and he spoke on a lot of things. You know, he talked about Chase Young, Montez Sweat, and a lot of fans are saying that they feel like he's done with Chase Young. He's done with Chase Young, right? Let me speak on that right quick, man. This sucks, bro. Like, quickly, hold on. Let's take a look at our last, let's take a look at our last 5 draft classes. Cutoff being Deron Payne. 19, we took Dwayne Haskins. Okay, obviously that's not Ron Rivera. That's 1 year prior to Rivera. But we took Dwayne Haskins. Didn't pan out. Montez Sweat. Seems like he's panning out. But you never know. He could very well not be here next year. Then you go to 2020. Number 2 overall pick. You take Chase Young. And in the moment, every single Washington Commanders fan was excited. Was excited about the pick of Chase Young. Fast forward 3 years later, if we do a survey of the redo of the 2020 draft class, would you take someone else? I'm not even going to just say Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's the guy that we should have taken now that we look at it. But I ain't even going to take Justin Herbert because maybe you wasn't in love with Justin Herbert at the time. Would you have taken anybody else? I guarantee 99%, I'm going to say 100% of this fan base would have taken someone else other than Chase Young. Hindsight. Chase Young has been a complete disaster. And it pains me to say that because, again, he has one more year to prove it. He could very well prove it this year. And I want him to. But you cannot not acknowledge that he has not been what we thought he could be. And it's just bad. The coaching staff is done with. Like, it would be one thing, right? It would be one thing if Chase Young wasn't on the bad side of the coaches. But the fact that you can hear when Ron Rivera talks about Chase Young, when Jack Del Rio talks about Chase Young, they don't even spend time talking about him anymore. They don't even spend time talking about Chase Young anymore. So the fact that he didn't produce, he got hurt, can't control that, but got hurt. Your coaches and off the field debacle, could have came back in week 9, but I'm not ready yet. Football doesn't define me. He like a lot of people are saying, he rubbed the coaching staff the wrong way last year. So it's to a point where now they're finished with him. Like, they don't want anything to do with him. And I do agree, and I've said this multiple times in my videos prior. Chase Young has to literally outperform Montez Sweat by a large margin. Large margin if he wants to be back here in Washington. I'm talking 15 sacks for Chase, 8 for Tez. Because if it's close, as you guys alluded to, they're going with Montez Sweat. And again, that sucks. Because, you're the hometown guy. You're the hometown guy, the number 2 overall pick in the draft. And you just didn't live up to it. And it just seems like we're headed down that path of yet another former Commanders guy that's just not going to make it to a second contract with that guy, with that team. That sucks. Because he's a guy that I had so much high hopes for, and I still do. But now I'm to the point where I cannot not acknowledge the truth. That's what I feel like a lot of sports fans do when they have players that they like. Whether it's because they're just trash or old age, right? Like, the player's not what they used to be at one point in time, but you're just holding on to the hopes that maybe he can return back to that old form. So you don't want to let go of that. But you're just like, hey, bro, you gotta let that go, man. He's done, man. That's what I feel like it is with a lot of Washington Commanders, man. And I honestly, before the end of last season, I was like that with Chase Young. But I now just gotta accept the fact that Chase Young is just not that guy here in Washington. Like, maybe he goes Pittsburgh, San Francisco, Cleveland, somewhere else, and then he can just finally pan out, but not picking up his 5th-year option, right? That says a lot. And I don't even know if Chase Young himself wants to be back in Washington. I really don't think he wants to be here anymore. I really don't. Because, yeah, okay, some of the veterans, they don't show up to minicamp and OTAs and stuff like that. But after sustaining the injury that Chase Young sustained, and you know, Chase Young, I don't care how he tries to downplay the love for football. I think he loves football. I think he does. So if he was in a situation where his team, he felt like his team believed in him. Let's just say Chase Young, they picked up Chase Young 5th-year option. Is Chase Young here in OTAs? Is Chase Young there at OTAs if they pick up his 5th-year option? I think he may be. But I mean, again, bro, I'm hoping for Chase Young. I'm praying that he's that dude. But once you done lost the interest from your coaching staff, I think you're done, man. I think you're done. So let's go ahead and transition to NBA Finals Game 1 talk. As again, and like I told you guys at the beginning of the show, if you're just now tuning in, I want to make this a real full sports show where we talk about everything. All right. And I know a lot of y'all are all Washington Commanders fans in there, so I have to like somewhat put Washington Commanders in the title to draw you guys in. I'm gonna stop doing that, and I'm gonna stop really just worrying about the viewership. Honestly, I'm gonna just do me, just be a sports guy because I love sports and I want to show my versatility. If you guys rock with me, you rock with me. You know, obviously I'm gonna always talk about my Commanders every time I make a video or go live. I'm gonna mention them. But I do want to transition into other sports talk. So, NBA Finals was yesterday. The Denver Broncos. Oh, not Denver Broncos. My fault. Nuggets. The Nuggets. They take the 1-0 lead on the Miami Heat. And before we get into it more, I want to say I'm rooting for the Heat. Who do y'all have? Who do y'all want to win the finals? I know the Nuggets are going to win, but I want the Heat to win so Jimmy Butler can get a ring. You know, Jimmy gets a ring with, you know, that'd be amazing, all right? But I think the Nuggets are going to win in 5, and probably in 5. I say 6, but probably in 5. I watched the second half of the game. I didn't see the first half. Watch the second half of the game, really here and there. I might actually react to it because I really didn't pay that much attention to it, to be honest with you. But every time I watch the Nuggets play, man, they just have a complete team. Like, they have a complete team, man. Like, I was always that because I like the Lakers, right? So I was hoping that the Lakers could win. And headed into that game, I was talking. I'm like, who would you rather face, the Suns or the Lakers or the Nuggets? I'm like, I'm like the Suns. I know like Chris Paul was still healthy at this time, so I'm like the Suns. KD, Book. I'd rather face the Nuggets. I mean Nuggets. They like, nah, man. They got a complete team, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I hear you. But after watching the Nuggets, man, they definitely deserve the winners. They definitely deserve to win the NBA Finals. That's complete honesty right there, man. Their team is complete. Jamal Murray back, healthy. Jokic. I mean, is there anything that I need to say about Jokic? Joker. Anything I need to say about him that y'all already don't know? He's literally not fair. Like, he's literally a demigod. Like, he's not fair. Like, what he's literally, I mean, the guy literally, okay, literally step back, over the head, he fadeaway three at the buzzer. Anthony Davis in his grill, green. Like, Jokic is just not fair. Like, and he's so fun to watch because it's like a guy at his size and with his player build, you would not think he would move the way he does. I mean, they got him bringing up the ball, right? Offense runs through Joker. Then you got the help from when Michael Porter Jr. is on, he's on. Right? When you got the Kentavious Caldwell Pope corner three going down. Got Aaron Gordon helping down low, can knock down the occasional three. Off the bench, you got what's my guy's name? Dang, I forgot my guy's name. But he comes off the bench and plays valuable minutes for the Denver Nuggets. I forgot my guy's name. Obviously you still got old Jeff Green. He can come and play a couple minutes for you. I think his minutes may have got shortened in a rotation, but you got Bruce Brown, that's his name. Comes in off the bench, can play for you and put up some solid numbers. But they're just a complete team this year, man. And they only shot 2 free throws yesterday. Oh, Miami did? The hell did Miami hit the 2 free throws? Now, I don't think this series is over by a long shot. Okay, I think Miami is gonna take game 2, and then they got the momentum back to them because then they going back to South Beach, right? They going back to South Beach with the 1-1 tie, and then they get Tyler Hero back. So I don't think this thing is over. However, if they go down 2-0, I think Tyler Hero could be that spark, but I don't see them coming back out of a 2-0 hole. I don't know. It's just they're too good this year, man, and they probably got voters fatigue because for real, they should have. Jokic should have won MVP again. I mean, Joel had a really, really good year. Not gonna sit here and act like he didn't. He had a really good year, but Jokic is just on a different level, man. But yeah, man. That's all I really gotta say about that. We'll talk more about it. I might even react to it because I want to do that. So I ain't gonna hold y'all up anymore. Let's go ahead and transition to the final segment. That's the shout out segment. So get your comments up. I'm gonna give you about 15 seconds to get your last comments in, and we'll head to shout out segment. Let's go. All right, shout out segment. Let's go. Shout out to my guy, Great Me. I appreciate you for coming through, listening to the Top of the Morning Show, making it your first listen, right? Thank you so much for listening to the show. Great, Uptown Dre. Shout out to Uptown Dre, my guy. I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. He says, yo, my brother just viewed Chris Sam's video. He's hyping us up. I'm Sice, comrade. Hey, man. Shout out to Chris Sam's. I'm going to check it out. Man, I'm excited too, man. Again, just with Dan Snyder gone, Eric Bieniemy, Sam Howe, like Manuel Forbes, the new additions, man. I'm just excited too. Every year around this time, I get excited. So, shout out to you, Uptown Dre. I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Rob Bean, appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Rob Bean, he says, good morning. Good morning to you, Rob Bean. Appreciate you. Says, yep, no room to screw up. I totally agree. Gervontae Davis has to sit down for that 90 days and do his time. And he should come out a better person and reflect on his incident. And I'm pretty sure he won't do it again. Rob Bean says, yep, I'm glad Rivera left the offense alone. You know, Ron Rivera really never had anything to do with the offense side of the ball. I'll just say this. I'm glad he finally found a good offense coordinator. Or at least we assume he's a good offense coordinator. Can't be no worse than Scott Turner. I'm gonna more so say I'm finally glad Ron Rivera is going out of his comfort zone and hiring guys that he really doesn't know like that. Because, you know, when Ron first got here, he held on to guys like Scott Turner, Sam Mills, countless other Panthers connections just because that's who he was familiar with. Not necessarily because they were good. So I'm finally glad Ron Rivera is stepping out of his comfort zone. Let's put it that way. Antoinette Green, I appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. Says should have got JJ Watt. JJ Watt retired, but I think they wanted to also go younger at the edge rusher position. So that's probably why they didn't get JJ Watt. But again, he already retired and he finished it out, strong in Arizona. I thought at a point in time we could have been interested in JJ Watt, but I especially with Chase Young, being hurt last year. But they never considered. Antoinette Green says, you think this is Chase Young's last year as a Commander? If he doesn't have a super good year where he clears Montez Sweat, I think so. Is Chase Young a team player? That's a good question. I would say yes, but I don't know now that I think. I'm gonna just go with yes, but that's a good conversation that you could have. Is Chase Young a team player? Back then, yeah, of course you would say yeah, but they're not showing up to OTA, to lead the young guys, show them the way, that has a conversation for itself. And again, I'm not too big on him missing OTAs, but again, I'm not mad at the people that are. That's why I'm also in the middle. Rob Bean says he might surprise and ball out. I hope so. We all hope so, to be honest with you. Uptown Dre says, I hope Chase Young does have a great year. Then we could leverage him in the trade talk. I'm just saying. I don't know if they're going to be willing to trade Chase Young if if he has a good year. Now the thing is, you now put yourself in a situation where the ball is in Chase Young's court. Like, opposed to having that 5th-year option, I mean, yeah, you could try to franchise tag on next year, but then you're not gonna be able to franchise tag, let's say, Cameron Curl if y'all don't come to a long-term deal. After this year, you now gotta re-sign Chase Young. But again, like I said, Chase Young could very well not want to play for us anymore. So just because he has a really, really good year this year doesn't mean he's gonna re-sign with Washington. Like, if we would have picked up his 5th-year option, he's back here next year, no question. But if Chase Young goes out there to have 15 sacks, and we're like, yeah, we getting Chase Young back, that's not a guarantee. Chase Young's not a free agent, and he could very well go somewhere else. Rob Bean says, yeah, that will help your channel content to spread further, talk about everything. Yeah, man, I'm gonna do that. And my thing is, that's what I've been wanting to do for a long time. You know, I really want to become honestly, now I think about it, I want to become an NFL page. Like, you know, y'all know who Tom Grossi is, and the Denver Broncos guy that he's always with, like that. I think his name's That Good Sports or something like that. I want to become like one of those guys. Like, they talk about sports, but they're entertaining, right? They do the skits and stuff like that. The skits, I'm gonna stay away from. That's not me. That's not my personality. I'm not gonna force something that's not me. But I want to become something like that. Like, those guys are huge, man. Like, I think I just watched Tom Grossi video yesterday. He's like at 475,000 subscribers. Those guys are huge, bro. And they have great, amazing content. You know? And yeah, Grossi's a Packers fan. I think That Good Sports is Broncos fan. But they talk about everything. That's why a lot of people find their channel attractive. Corey Booker, I appreciate you for listening to, or Answer That Green says that Denver. Ra Bean says sweep. Oh, so you think Denver's gonna have a 4-4 sweep? Okay. And now Corey Booker, appreciate you for listening to Top of the Morning Show. He says, I think Chase Young is gonna be alright. He knows what he has to do for this year. He got to show out this year for all NFL teams. I think he doesn't want to get hurt out there doing any drills. I agree to that somewhat, because it's like, I understand you don't want to get hurt, but at least be there. Like, Cam Curl doesn't want to get hurt because he wants to have a contract, right? But he's still practicing. Curtis Samuel's on the last year of his deal, but he's practicing, right? So, though I agree with that to a certain extent, I think he can still at least be there. Like, you don't gotta practice, but you just being there says a lot, right? Like, at least you're there, and you could talk to the young fellas, KJ Henry, all the young fellas that we brought in, right? I'm just saying. But hey, what do I know? Game 2 would tell? Yeah, I think so too. I agree with that. Bruce Brown, yeah, that's his name. The only individual to show up was Bam Adebayo. They role players Max Martin, Robinson, and Lowry. No show. Yeah, Max Strus had a lot of good looks yesterday. Didn't do anything. Jimmy Butler only had 13, but Jimmy Butler was setting them up well in the first half for some open shots, and they just wasn't knocking them down. Alante, appreciate you for listening to the Top of the Morning Show, and you're the last final comment. He says, what's up, Juan? What's good, Alante? Appreciate you for coming through. Listen to the Top of the Morning Show. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is episode 27 in the books of Top of the Morning Show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you have any podcast, morning show ideas, please don't be afraid to leave them down below in the comment section. Please don't be afraid to email me at juangottibusiness@gmail.com. Want to make this one of the best sports NFL podcasts or whatever out there. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Enjoy the rest of your day. You got your morning started at the best possible way by listening to this show. Now you can enjoy the rest of your morning and your day. Enjoy the Friday. Turn up. Stay safe. And most importantly, enjoy. See y'all next time. Peace.